Hey guys, welcome back to Envision Prototypes. I'm Nick. Today, well, we're still working on this 51. And what I was doing over there was finalizing that joint on that door there. Any weld you do will always require a little bit of finessing if you want a filler-free finish. Let that cool down. Right now, cut out this corner. You can see it's all, looks like cheese. Cut this out. I fabricated a new piece. We'll get it in and kind of wrap up this front windshield area. We're getting really close. This elephant is almost done. So this is the piece that I bent up, and it's kind of like a relay race. You know, do that over there, let it cool off, let it do its thing, jump over here, cut this out, fit this in, jump back over there, do some more shrinking. That was a shrinking disc, by the way. Did a video on a Camaro hood a while back. There's a card over there. I finessed the hood a little bit because it looked like somebody took and pushed down on it and trying to slam it and left two big paw prints in it. So we worked it out, but it was really difficult without actually pulling the structure out. And well, the client wasn't prepared for that, so we did the best we could. Got it really close. Couple coats of high build, took care of it. So anyway, if you want to see that, click the card up there. I want to focus on this corner here, because a lot of you guys might come across a car you've picked up, pulled the windshield out and discovered a whole bunch of rust. And this is how you're going to fix it. Earlier on, I bent up this piece, not a very complicated piece to bend up. You basically measure the flange lengths, the amount of material you have to replace, transpose it onto some sheet metal, and then put it in your brake and bend it. One way, the other way, whatever way you got to bend it. Then you go to your kick shrinker and shrink one corner, stretch the other corner, and just pull it in to where you need it. So we need to only go up to about here. The rest is fine. There's one little hole there. We're going to take and weld that up, clean it. And as for this here, well, the whole thing has to come out because there's nothing left. All right, where's my Sharpie? So if I just took this and overlaid this into here and cut along that line, the piece wouldn't fit. The reason why? We have a flange that's been spot welded down to the inner structure, and well, by this sitting on top of what's here, the line's in the wrong spot. Now I'm going to take and trim away a lot of this material here. There's a green line, and a lot of that is just redundant, so we're going to get rid of that. But we can't cut away so much that we actually defeat the purpose of filling in these holes. So I'm going to cut away the minimal amount that we can get away with. There's no need to recreate the whole corner. Just a little piece is fine. Unless you want the practice of forming up a new A-pillar, a new front cowl, you know, you can always do it. There's nothing stopping you. But if we want to meet our deadline of this summer for this car, we have to draw the line. We're going to take and grind down to the flange underneath. There's no sense drilling out the spot welds because you can't even see them. Just grind down, make sure we're not grinding away the bottom flange, and then we'll start fitting this piece in. I mentioned it numerous times that we're going to install flush fit glass from front to back. For those of you new to our channel, it's basically going to be no post. Yeah, you see a post here, but it's going to be hidden behind glass. Post under glass. And what's going to happen is that front window that comes up from the door is going to run back into this one, which is going to be stationary. It's going to be urethane in place. Now, in order for that to work, we have to create a seat in this area. And it's going to be in the form of a channel just like this. And we bent this up earlier, and now what we have to do is create the radius here, create the arcs, and have it fit this side so that we can weld it in. And then mock up the masonite so that we can align the door glass that comes up from the window pack. I'm going to shoot past a little bit, and right there, and right there, and end about there. So what I was just talking about there was where the curve is going to start, the maximum point of curvature, and then where it's going to kind of peter out and go into this graceful curve up above. And we're going to accomplish that using, you guessed it, the shrinker. Yeah, that's what happens when you lend out your tools. I've got a new one. Shipping is taking a while, but it stretches, but it's been stretched. Either the cam lever or something. It's not biting it like it used to. Now, I know how to adjust these. We've done it numerous times, but it's beyond adjustment. See, that's a pretty straight line through there. So what we're going to do, just give that a bit of curve along the top. Should be good. When using the shrinker stretcher, you gotta ease into it. Don't just bear down with all your might. Let the jaws do the work. Well, your foot's doing some work too, or your arm, but don't force it because you'll break things. Wow. Now, if you're looking and saying, hey, no, you bent it the wrong way. This is for the other side. Both windows are identical, so save me running back and forth and putting 50 miles on. I'm just doing it on one side. I think I took some paint off. Oh yeah, we'll repaint it this summer. Well, that's looking good. I'm gonna pull it in a little bit tighter. It's a little bit tricky because of all the curvature. That's what I was trying to anticipate it earlier. Oh, easy there. Well, that's pretty darn close. I gave it too much there. Let's see if we can tighten this up a bit, straighten that up a bit. See, it still works, but you need a shim. And the pin was sheared. Figure that one out. These are Lancaster, they're good. To shear a pin, I have no idea how that happened. Been a lot of late nights, weekends. All right, so I've got both pieces formed up, and that's going to sit, it's going from the back side, just like that. Now we do have to kind of match it up, tack it in place, work it in, but once it's done, that's it. And the glass will have a nice flange to sit on. So I talked about having this car done for summer. Once a lot of this little stuff is done, this metalwork stuff, then everything else, bodywork, all that stuff will fall into place. The closer we get the sheet metal, the less bodywork we have to do. So it pays to take the time and get all the metalwork right. We still have a lot of plenishing and cleaning up to do on the quarter panels. Once you get that liner off the roof, it's not stuck on, but just sitting there, good storage space. We'll finalize the roof, kind of metal finish it here and there. We'll get all that straightened out, and yeah, we'll get this car assembled again. Doors are off because we have to do the posts, you know. It's just one thing after another. Now, if you think I'm using that zip blade right there and grinding with the face of it, I'm not. You don't want to thin that thing out too much and have it fly apart on you. What I'm doing is using the very edge and cutting into the edge. You can see I've cut into that, cut into that. I'm cutting into this flange that's part of the cowl area and just removing it. And once I see the bottom structure, I stop. You can see right there, I can see the primer. So just cutting away, cleaning it up, and then we'll go ahead and remove this. I don't want to get a big thick blade in there, grind it down, and remove too much material. See that? So we're just about there. That piece that you saw fly off, same thing, just falls away. Once we get through those spot welds, we're not going any further, and you saw that piece just fling off. All right, let's drop this piece in, see how it looks. Now, just looking at it, we're kind of rocking, which is not a good thing at the moment. And the other thing is we have overstretched this corner. So it's actually kicking in too far. So I'm going to open things up a little bit, refit it. And once that looks good, we're going to go ahead and scribe this piece, or that piece, we'll see, and cut this excess material away. Make a couple holes around the perimeter for the spot welds, spot weld the flange, weld the outside, done. Now when it comes to making your mark on metal, you can use a magic marker, draw your line in, or you can use a sharp awl to scratch the bare metal, or you could use this. 87.315% of the time, I'll run with a Sharpie line first. Then I'll take a scratch awl to scratch through that Sharpie, give me a contrasting line between the bare metal that's been just scratched and the Sharpie. Sometimes I have a hard time seeing a line on bare metal that I've just scratched. So the marker does a great job in contrasting between the scratched metal and the metal surrounding the scratched metal. We need to make sure that this fits precisely. So I'm starting to trim away a lot of the excess material on this piece, as you can see. Okay, that's going in right there. I'm going to get a couple clamps on. This is not fitting 100% just yet. Need to straighten this out. Okay. Okay. So I've got everything fitted, but I noticed that this line dips down a bit too fast. I don't know if you can see it from there. So to fix that, we have enough material here. Thank goodness I didn't cut away too much. We're going to take and move this up, trim that away, and this should come into just almost contact. Take off 1/8 of an inch. Guys want a burr? Much better, much better. Okay, that's good, that's fine. That's got to roll down. Now, there's a little hole here, but when we push this down and out, that'll get taken care of. So what I'm going to do now is use my favorite magic marker and indicate a line right there. That does not need to be cut because that will join up. And we can leave it like that, or we can take a sharp edge and scratch it. Ta-da! Now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in regards to the contrast between the Sharpie or magic marker and the scratch that we put in. And I don't know if you can see that, but there is a contrasting color of bare metal versus green. And that kind of helps you see the edge. And you can see how close Sharpie is to where we need to cut off anyway. So whatever works for you. If you just feel a Sharpie is sufficient, go for it. If you want to scratch it, be my guest. Hey, I'm just funning you guys. For the amount of time we spend in the shop working on these vehicles, gotta have some fun. Okay. Well, that's going to work out very nicely with the fitment. Like I'd bring you guys in to show you, but if I let this go, it's gonna fall. And you didn't think I'd be using Big Red, did you? There's always a reason I've got a certain tool out. Oh no. I wasn't planning on this. Too bad. So sad. All right, we're gonna leave it in this position for now. I'm gonna get a couple tacks on this. It's sitting almost where it needs to, so I don't wanna move it. Technically, this Big Red device with the flat end is acting as a clamp. Stay. Don't breathe, please. Just hold your breath. Give me a couple minutes. I'll get a couple tacks on this. All right, so got this tacked in place, but in all my excitement, I forgot to punch the holes. So we're gonna get a drill bit, drill through the first layer, into the second layer, but not through the second layer. And we'll plug weld all that in place. And hey, happens to the best of us. So anyway, we'll get that drilled, welded up, finished, and hopefully invisible. We'll see. So just running with a 3/16 drill bit. Easy. Don't want to break the bit. There were 18 spot welds that I never saw, so we're gonna put 18. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Half of 18 is 9. All right, guys, well, that's gonna wrap up this episode. We got all the cheese taken care of, cheese being rust and holes and all that stuff. It's all been replaced, nice and strong, welded in, metal finished, and done. Now, there is a little bit of stuff going on here, a little bit of an edge of a weld. I'm not concerned about it because a couple coats of high build will take care of that. We're not talking Bondo and piles of filler. It's minuscule. I don't want to grind the metal away. It's a piece of 18 gauge, but I don't want to grind that so thin just to take care of that little bit there. If I was able to get inside with the dolly, I'd bump it up a little bit and it would take care of it, but I can't. So we're done. And I hope this helps you out in replacing your window perimeter if yours is rusted out. There are a couple of things we need to address yet. This little flange is sticking up a little bit higher. We've got to grind that down so that the windshield rubber sits correctly. We don't want any high spots or inconsistencies around the edge. Now, I haven't mentioned it to anybody in YouTube land, but we're talking about it at the shop here. And we're thinking of urethaning this windshield in place. Now, before you go start saying, whoa, you can't do that. It won't stick. You're right, because we don't have enough flange. We have to add to that flange, drop down, but at this stage, we're still talking. So I'm not sure which way we're gonna go yet. A clean urethane windshield might suit the bill for this. We'll see. Back window, different story. I've got the back glass, and in order to urethane that in place, we would have to change the whole rear perimeter of the window. And I don't think I'm about to do that. It's all just about done there. We might just keep that back seal. The way I see it, you walk up to a car, you see the front. And when it takes off, well, all you see is a big cloud of dust. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope it helped you out in seeing how to go about replacing your window perimeter if it's rusted out. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you in the next one. Oh, you're still here. Yeah, I decided to mount this door so it doesn't keep running away on me as I'm trying to work on it on the table. There we go. I dropped a screw. Got another one. It's all about fitting, refitting, fitting again. These doors have been off a dozen times as we worked on the posts to make sure that everything clearanced. Everything's good. All the threads have been chased, so they run well. We're not binding up on anything. Where did that go? The one thing we do have to do is replace these screws, these bolts with Phillips sockets. They have seen way better days. Probably go with a socket head, a hexagonal socket head. It's not too bad. These doors aren't too heavy. When you're running the shrinking disc, you need to really control the weight of that grinder. It's it's a delicate process. You can over shrink a panel and create a huge problem. I've been thinking about doing a video on fixing that hood there. If you guys want to see how to pound out some dents and correct it. Looks like somebody jumped on the middle of it. It's pretty caved in. From here, if I sight through with my micrometer, it's about a 7/8 dip in the middle. So put down in the comments, let me know if you want to see anything on the hood. All right. Make sure everything's tight. Because technically everything should align. Wow. Well, that's very nice. It feels so solid now. Like we've gone through, welded all the structures up, and yes, fantastic. Okay, now the other last thing we have to do on these doors, we're not doing it today. I'm pretty much done. We spent a lot of time in the shop today. To grind, oh, that's what's hitting. We need to grind a few little things, little welds, and we need to put the door stop. Where'd it go? Thing I showed you last time, modern cars have these door restrictors to prevent it from opening too far or opening up a certain distance. We got rid of the old crystallized ones that came with the car. Those are finished. That one was missing. So it's just a matter of reconfiguring the front end of the door to accept these. 2 bolts at the front. This goes to the post and it's on. So we're not installing this today. Leave that for another day. So again, for real this time, thanks a lot for watching. Catch you later.